And here we go again, another big time practice in Denver for the Broncos right before their first preseason game in just a couple of days. Bo Nix, Jarrett Stidham, and Zach Wilson all once again have some really good outings. In this video, we're going to break down all the news, the notes, the highlights, the observations from today's practice. I do want to let you guys know that the first half of this video is going to be like new highlights, but the rest is going to be from previous days. The reason being is the media team over there in Denver, they're not allowed to film certain portions of practice, especially during 11s and 7s, strictly because they don't want other teams being able to get a hold of this film and being able to watch it before they play games, right? So obviously cannot show that. But with that being said, let's kind of dive into the video and talk a little bit about today's practice. Also, make sure you follow the Broncos media members, because without them, these videos, they're not possible to make. So go give them a follow. It kind of feels like you're at practice every time you follow them because they post everything. But now let's get into the video. So in 7-on-7s, Bo Nix looked really good. Had a couple of really good throws. One including to Lucas Crow for about 20 yards. I believe he got down at the 3 or 4 yard line. So that was a big time throw by Bo Nix. And then the next one, he had Tim Patrick on a 20-yard touchdown down the field, pretty much wide open, got behind the defense, and Bo Nix was able to just hit him on target. So that was how they started 7-on-7s, about a total of 50 yards combined and a touchdown for Bo Nix. Now, you know what's interesting is Bo Nix was actually listed third on the depth chart, which I just completely think is so false. I think it was something that they're probably going to go into the preseason giving Bo Nix the majority of the reps, but I don't believe it for a second, okay? He has been getting day one starting reps in practice for the past 6 days, okay? So when you see that on the depth chart, I wouldn't really take too much out of it. Maybe just take it with a grain of salt. Because at the end of the day, yeah, maybe Jarrett Stidham starts a preseason game. Maybe Zach Wilson is your number 2. But there is no doubt in my mind, Bo Nix plays almost the most of that game compared to the other guys. Maybe Jarrett Stidham gets a quarter, Zach Wilson gets a quarter, and then Bo Nix gets the entire second half. I think that's how I would think it would go down. But again, don't take too much out of the depth chart. Now, Jarrett Stidham also had a pretty good day during 7-on-7s. Had a dot to Adam Trotman from about, I believe, 10 to 15 yards out. Another touchdown. Riley Moss was in really good coverage there, but the catch and the throw probably stood out the most. So Jarrett Stidham also showcasing, his arm talent as well. But most of the day, they wanted to run the football. Wanted to see what they had in this backfield. Obviously with Javonte Williams and P. Ryan and some other guys, Blake Watson, all competing for some roster spots at the lower end of the team. They're getting a lot of opportunity right now. We also saw Brandon Jones, Levi Wallace not practicing today. Mike McGlinchey was back at practice. He was active. Broncos also did sign inside linebacker Alec Mock and waived Ronnie Perkins, the former Patriots draft pick, I believe. Let's see. They did not say who is going to be the second starting inside linebacker. So when you look at their initial depth chart next to Alex Singleton, it says Jonas Griffith or Cody Barton. So obviously those are two guys who are in competition there. You're seeing that a lot throughout a lot of teams throughout training camp. So again, that looks like it is probably the biggest battle between training camp and preseason games. We also have Damari Mathis and Riley Moss competing for an outside corner look. So again, still got a lot of things to see in terms of who's going to win certain positions. Offensively, you see Javonte Williams, you see Jarrett Stidham, you see Michael Burton as your starting 3 in the backfield. And then you got Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick as your starting wide receivers. You got Adam Trotman as your starting tight end with Greg Dulcich number 2, Mike McGlinchey, Quinn Myers, Luke Wattenberg, Ben Powers, and Garrett Bowles as well as your starting offensive line. So again, let's continue on into practice here. We saw a little bit more of Zach Wilson taking some reps with the 2s today. He is pretty much out of the running for number 1 in my opinion. I don't think he's taken any 1s reps in a pretty decent amount of time. we'll continue to monitor that going forward. We had a couple of big-time coverage plays. One by Chris Abrams' drain. Had unbelievable coverage, but again, just a really good throw by Jarrett Stidham. Had a 35, I want to say 30 to 35 yard touchdown pass to Josh Reynolds, another guy who's been standing out through camp so far, making plays almost every single day. Now, before we get any further into this video, guys, do me a big favor. One, hit the like button, but two, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and we will be covering the Broncos throughout the entirety of the offseason. Not only are we going to be covering every single training camp practice, but we're also going to be covering preseason football games as well. And you may be asking yourself, well, what does that include exactly? We're going to be live streaming those games on my Twitch, so if you want to watch those with me in real time, breaking down the film and whatnot, go follow the Twitch. It is Matty Dubs with 3 S's, or you can find the link in the description below. And lastly, once the season does kick off, once we get preseason games and regular season games, we're going to be breaking down all 22 coaches' film for offense, defense, individual film. If you guys were a part of the family last year, you know exactly what I'm talking about, so don't worry, got a lot covered. Jaquan McMillan had a really good day in the slot position. He looked outstanding for the majority of practice. Marvin Mims almost had a one-handed moss in the goal line. Didn't survive or didn't catch it through the ground, but it would have been probably the play of the day. You probably would have seen it everywhere. We also had a great touchdown from Zach Wilson to Devon Vile. I always mess up his name. Hopefully sooner rather than later I can fix that. But also we saw Zach Wilson back shoulder to Vele, went up and got it. So I mean, this dude has been really good. Bo Nix comeback route to Courtland Sutton at the goal line, beautiful. Probably, I want to say Jarrett Stidham probably had the best day. I would say Zach Wilson had a good day, but not his best. During the third set of team drills, did throw an interception off of Audric Estimi's hands, picked off by Traymon Smith. Other than that, though, I thought Zach Wilson had a good day. Let's see. There's not too much more to talk about. Stidham had a really good job with the first team offense today. Hit Dulcich for a 20-yard gain on a crosser route, then converted a 4th and 7 to Courtland Sutton. That was good. It might have been a Jonathan Cooper sack, but who really knows? Obviously, they can't take the quarterback to the ground. And then Bo Nix and the second team came in right after. Probably a little bit shorter drive. Not shorter, but dink and dunking down the field. Completions to Troy Franklin, Lil Jordan Humphrey. And again, I think Bo Nix is really good when he's able to stay patient, stay conservative in the pocket. But also, he adds that versatility that neither of the quarterbacks have behind him in terms of being able to get outside the pocket and make things happen with his legs. And then to end practice, they did do a move the ball period where they're just, moving down the field, right? The situation was 21-21, 1st and 10 from the defensive 38, minute 38 seconds left, one timeout each side. Courtland Sutton caught a 32-yard pass on 4th and 7 to get the team to the 8-yard line with about 50 seconds left. And then that was pretty much it. Bo Nix led his offense to a 48-yard field goal, which Lutz nailed to win the game, or win the practice, I guess you could say. So pretty much that was it. Big shout out to Zach Stevens, Cody Rourke, Henry Chisholm. Go follow them on X right now for some more updates. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family. Go follow the Twitch for Broncos live streams, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.